Imagine a conversation that never leaves your mind. A moment frozen in time, where every word suddenly feels heavier, every gesture more significant, and the question that haunts you is simple but unbearable. Could I have done more? For Simon Cowell, that question has become a shadow, following him through every thought since the shocking death of Liam Payne. Simon remembers that final meeting vividly. It wasn't about contracts or tours or the glimmering lights of the music industry. It was just two people talking. Liam had his little boy with him, and the conversation flowed naturally, like old friends catching up. They spoke about life beyond music, about family, and about finding joy in things that fame could never buy. Simon's advice was simple. Don't let music define your life entirely. Seek something that ignites your soul. At the time, he believed Liam understood, believed he was in a good place, ready to navigate the world on his own terms. But then reality shattered that belief. The news of Liam's death hit like a lightning bolt. Shock gave way to disbelief, then a gnawing emptiness. Simon couldn't stop replaying that day in his mind. The laughter, the warmth, the sense of hope he had felt. And with every replay came the relentless question. Could I have done anything more to help him, to protect him, to change the outcome? Grief has a strange way of making us obsess over moments that once felt ordinary. Simon spoke publicly, trying to articulate the depth of his pain. You never really know how you feel about someone until a moment like this happens, he said. His words were not just for the public, but a reflection of a personal struggle, a way to cope with the void left behind. He remembered Liam's humility, his genuine love for those around him, and the way he cared deeply for his fans, a young man who seemed to have it all, but whose inner battles were invisible to most. Simon also faced a storm of public speculation. Some argued that Liam's career, guided by Cowell's decisions, may have added pressure to an already complicated life. There were whispers of blame, fingers pointing, questions about responsibility. Simon responded with calm but heavy honesty. You cannot control someone else's life completely. Fame, after all, doesn't shield anyone from personal struggles, nor does it guarantee happiness. Yet, no amount of reasoning could silence the ache, the feeling that maybe, just maybe, more could have been done. In his mind, Simon returned to the laughter that day, the quiet moments that felt insignificant but now weigh like tons. He recalled Liam talking about fatherhood, the pride in his eyes, the dreams he still wanted to chase. That memory stands in stark contrast to the headlines and news stories, a reminder of the human being behind the celebrity. And it's in those memories that Simon's regret festers, the moments he can never reclaim, the conversations that will never be finished. For Simon, the tragedy is both deeply personal and painfully universal. It is a reminder that success and talent are fragile, that even those who seem untouchable are vulnerable to life's cruel twists. Liam Payne had achieved more than most could dream of: fame, fortune, a loving child, and a career admired worldwide. And yet, the struggles behind the smile remained hidden, reminding everyone that no one is immune to pain. The loss has also forced Simon to confront the limitations of his role in people's lives. Fame comes with influence, yes, but it does not grant control over destiny. He has shared in interviews that blaming oneself endlessly is a path that only tortures the mind. Still, that doesn't stop the nights of reflection, the what-ifs, or the haunting replay of moments when different choices could have been made. Simon is left to reconcile the hope he once felt with the grief that now shadows every memory. It is in this delicate balance, between memory and loss, hope and despair, that Simon's story resonates. He remembers not just the performer, but the person. Liam as a father, Liam as a friend, Liam as a young man with dreams yet unfulfilled. And while the world mourns a star, Simon mourns someone who was part of his life in a real, human way. The loss becomes a mirror, reflecting not just grief, but the fragility of connection, the weight of love, and the torment of things left unsaid. Even in his grief, Simon acknowledges the small consolations, the understanding from Liam's family that their son lived a life full of meaning, that he brought joy to so many, that he mattered. Yet those reassurances, while comforting, cannot erase the haunting questions or the sharp pangs of regret. They are reminders that sometimes even our best efforts are not enough to prevent tragedy. The story of Simon Cowell and Liam Payne is more than a celebrity headline. It is a human story about bonds, about mentorship, about the fleeting nature of life and the shadows left by unspoken words. It reminds us that no amount of fame can protect anyone from the silent struggles they face, and that the most important connections in life are often the ones we take for granted until it is too late. Simon Cowell's reflection is a confession, a public grappling with private pain. It is about the weight of influence, the burden of memory, and the unbearable question that lingers long after loss. Could I have done more? It is a story that resonates with anyone who has loved and lost, who has cherished moments that felt ordinary at the time, but now carry the weight of eternity. Because in the end, there is no rewinding, no second chance to say the words that might have mattered most. There is only memory, and the echo of voices no longer here. And in that echo, Simon Cowell finds both his sorrow and his reminder. Life is fragile, moments are precious, and the people we care about most can leave too soon, leaving questions that may never be answered.